Thank you for being here, for listening, for feeling, for being willing to face what most avoid. If this story touched you, share it with someone who needs it. And remember, the only thing that truly matters is love.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And today's video is basically just going to be a story time about how I lost my mom and how I lost my older brother. And it's going to be an emotional story because my brother's 1 year is coming up. It's February 27th, and it's just going to be an emotional story because there's a lot of things that I have went through and a lot of things that I've adjusted to now since they're both gone. And my mom had passed away in 2016 and my brother passed away in 2019. So this story time is basically just going to be about losing them and how it affected me, and how I lost them and stuff. And I hope you guys enjoy this video and just get to know me a little better and understand there's a lot of trials and tribulations in life that you have to overcome. And you know, nobody's gonna be here forever, but you just have to figure out how you'll go along with it. I'm not even gonna lie, I don't really have this planned out. I'm just gonna speak upon it and I'm just gonna say what I have to say. And I'm not gonna make it that long of a story, but I don't have any makeup on or eyelashes because I don't wear makeup at all, but I'm just gonna try not to cry about this story. So I need to stop saying back in 2016, I think I was a sophomore. Yeah, I think I was a sophomore or a junior, or I was supposed to be a junior or something like that. And I had just talking about this this gives me kind of a lot of anxiety, and the fact that I'm doing it on camera kind of makes it a little more crazy. But in 2016, I started going to a school. Well, previously before that, I used to live with my mom in Las Vegas, and me and my mom had bumped heads a lot, like around the time I turned 16. So when I turned 16, me and my mom got into a huge fight, and I moved away. I moved to Denver, Colorado to stay with my dad. And I believe 2016, in 2016, I started going to another school, and I started like getting a lot of friends and stuff like that. So I wasn't really calling my mom or talking to her that much because me and her had like a rocky relationship at the time, but she was trying to make things right, but I wasn't really like trying to talk to her like that. It's so crazy. I got a phone call from my mom. I was at school one day, and it was me and my friend. We were coming from lunch, and I went to this school called West. It wasn't my original school that I went to, but I went to an alternative school, and I started making friends and stuff like that. And hold on, I need to take a breath. Okay, so I started going to an alternative school. I started making friends, and you guys are gonna hear a lot because this was not planned, and I don't like talking about stuff like this. But if we're gonna be doing videos and you guys are gonna be basically living with me, you guys might as well just know what's going on with me and a lot of stuff that happened. So around 2016, get it together. I went to a school. It was called West, and I was hanging out with some friends, and we went to go get lunch at this store called King Supers. And on our way back, we were going to stop at McDonald's. And I got a phone call from my mom, and she's just like, she had said something like, what are you doing? And I was like, nothing. I'm just hanging out with my friends. We're on lunch right now. And she was like, oh, okay, well, I miss you. And I was like, well, I miss you too. But mom, I'm going to call you back. And she was like, I love you, baby. And I was like, I love you too. And then I hung up the phone. I didn't really say much to her. And I just hung up the phone so I could go hang out with some of my friends. And then I had just started a new job. Like, this was probably my second job I've ever had because I was about to turn 18, I believe. I was about to turn 18. And I had just got another job. And so after school, my dad, he came and picked me up and he took me to work. And mind you, my friend that I went to school with previously, she was with me, and she was basically training me about what to do and stuff. And we were just messing around because it was just me and her. It was like a sandwich job, so it was like a Subway. So it was just me and her in the facility. And we started like just messing around, and my brother Pooh Bear had called me, and he was he called and he was very, very ecstatic. Like, I answered the phone and I'm like, hey, what's up? Like, as usual, because this is my brother. I'm not gonna say my favorite brother because I love all my brothers, but like the one I always communicated with, talked to, and like FaceTimed all the time. And he calls me and he's like, she's gone. And I'm like, who's gone? What are you talking about? And he's like, she's gone, she's gone. And he couldn't even finish his sentence. And I'm like, who, Pooh Bear? And immediately I knew it was my mom because that's the only person he would probably call me crying about. And he was like, Mommy's gone, she's not here, she's dead. And I was like, wow, what? And I was like, what are you talking about? And then like right when he said she's dead again, and I was like, I started crying. And my friend looked at me, and like it's crazy because I have this kind of like cry that makes it seem like I'm laughing. So my friend looked at me and she was just like, are you laughing or are you crying? But after a while she realized I was crying, and she was like, what happened? What happened? And she's like, what happened? And I'm telling her, like, my mom just passed away. My mom's dead. And I'm ecstatic. I'm crying. And then after she hangs up, like, I can't put my password in my phone or nothing. And I'm just sobbing. And she's like, what's your password so I could call your dad to tell your dad to come get you? And I put my fingerprint in my phone, and she calls my dad. And my dad answers, and she's like, Tian just said her mom died. And my dad was like, well, fuck, I wanted to be the one to tell her in person. I didn't want her to hear the news over the phone, which I understand that because who wants to hear that over the phone? Which I do respect and honor what my brother did by calling and telling me and stuff like that. So like my dad, he came and he got me, and he came and got me, and I was just like sad. And like we went and we saw my other brother. We saw my older brother, and like I just sat in the car because I didn't want to be bothered. And it was crazy because the whole time I'm sitting there in the car, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, hey, I just got off the phone with my mom. This can't be true. This can't be true. Like, I was just on the phone with my mom. There's no way she's dead. And I started thinking about the times, like, I could have answered her phone call, texted her back and stuff like that. And I just kept crying and crying. And
Yeah,
about to turn 18. And I had just got another job. And so after school, my dad, he came and picked me up and he took me to work. And mind you, my friend that I went to school with previously, she was with me, and she was basically training me about what to do and stuff. And we were just messing around because it was just me and her. It was like a sandwich job, so it was like a Subway. So it was just me and her in the facility. And we started like just messing around, and my brother my brother Pooh Bear had called me, and he was like he called and he was very, very ecstatic. Like, I answered the phone and I'm like, hey, what's up? Like, as usual, because this is my brother. I'm not gonna say my favorite brother because I love all my brothers, but like the one I always communicated with, talked to, and like FaceTimed all the time. And he calls me and he's like, she's gone. And I'm like, who's gone? What are you talking about? And he's like, she's gone, she's gone. And he couldn't even finish his sentence. And I'm like, who, Pooh Bear? And immediately I knew it was my mom, because that's the only person he would probably call me crying about. And he was like, mommy's gone, she's not here, she's dead. And I was like, wow, what? And I was like, what are you talking about? And then like right when he said she's dead again, and I was like, I started crying. And my friend looked at me, and like, it's crazy because I have this kind of like cry that makes it seem like I'm laughing. So my friend looked at me and she was just like, are you laughing or are you crying? But after a while she realized I was crying, and she was like, what happened? What happened? And she's like, what happened? And I'm telling her like, my mom just passed away, my mom's dead. And I'm ecstatic, I'm crying. And then after she hangs up, like, I can't put my password in my phone or nothing, and I'm just sobbing. And she's like, what's your password so I could call your dad to tell your dad to come get you? And I put my
people to hang out with, and
she
keep myself
calls my
busy
dad.
and like stuff
And
like
my
that.
dad
Like, I had like a boyfriend
answers,
or whatever,
and
and
she's
like
like,
I would always want to be
Tian
up
just
under
said
him, because it's
her
like I
mom
don't like
died. And
thinking
my
about
dad
the
was
fact that
like,
my mom,
well, fuck, I wanted
you
to
know,
be the
like
one to
any
tell
other
her in
person
person.
has
I
coping
didn't want her to
mechanisms. I don't smoke, I don't drink,
I didn't want her to hear the
don't
news
pop
over the
pills,
phone,
I
which I
don't do
understand that,
drugs.
because who wants to hear that over the phone? Which I honestly, I do
I really don't
respect
have a coping
and honor what
mechanism
my brother
except for
did by
hanging out with
calling
a
and
whole
telling
bunch of
me
people
and stuff like
and
that.
stuff
So
like
like
that
my
around
dad,
that
he
time.
came and he got me.
So I was always with
And
somebody. I was never alone, but
when
I always hated being alone around that time, because I always wanted to think about my mom and
he
this.
came and got
And
me, and I was just like sad.
her cause of death at the
And
time
like,
in 2016, 2017, 2018
we went and
was
we
she
went and we saw my
overdosed.
other
I mean,
brother. We saw my
she had
older
a
brother, and
stroke or
like
a
I just
seizure.
sat
I
in the
wasn't
car
sure
because
which
I
one
didn't
she
want to be
had, but my
bothered.
mom had got shot
And it was crazy because
when she was younger,
the whole
and she
time
also
I'm
had
sitting
gotten into a
there
car
in the
accident.
car, I'm sitting there
When
thinking to
after
myself like, hey, I
I
just
was
got off the
born
phone with my
and
mom.
we
This
lived in
can't be
Vegas, she
true.
got into a
This
car
can't be
accident that
true.
caused
Like,
her to have seizures.
I was just on the phone with my mom.
She
There's
wasn't
no
allowed
way
to drive
she's
no more
dead.
and stuff like that.
And
So
I started
that
thinking
was her
about the
cause of
times
death
like
in
I could
2016 was a
have
stroke and a seizure.
answered her phone call, texted her back,
Now,
and stuff like that, and I just kept
I
crying and
moved
crying.
past it, and I had got
And
That's really hard to, because she's so young. She's only 16 years old. At 16 years old, you're going to butt heads with your parents. It's normal. It's natural. It's because you're trying to figure out your independence and your parent wants to protect you. So naturally, you're going to bump heads.
the next
And to
following day,
know that that's the
I had
last
school and I
interaction
didn't want
that
to
you
go,
had with
but
your
then
parent
something
is
told me I
really
had to get
difficult.
up and
Hopefully,
just
she can
do
have
something
compassion for
productive. So
herself
I
to
had my dad
realize
drop
that
me
she
off
was
at
just
one
a
of my
little
old
girl.
schools,
schools, the
And
school
it's
I first
okay.
started going
It's
to.
okay.
And
a phone call from my mom, which
Feelings instead of
I
avoiding
was
them
just
because they
I
will
called one of my
never
friends
go
like, hey, can you
away
meet me in
and
the
she
front? I
won't
just
be
need
able to
to
move
be around
forward
somebody. And like,
with
so my
that
friend came and she
lingering
took me to the front. I
in
just
her
wanted to
heart.
continue my day as if nothing happened,
my
you
mom,
know,
and I'd be like,
like
I just miss her
going
so
on as if
much.
nothing happened.
There was a
And
lot
she
that I
came
should
and
have
like I'm
did
just hanging out, and
in
then
order
like
to
everybody just came up to me
I
and like,
wasn't
hey, I'm
saying in
so
order to
sorry, I'm
keep her
so
here,
sorry.
but
And
it
I'm
was
like,
like
I'm holding it together. I'm not
I
crying. I'm
started
not
beating
crying. I'm
myself
like,
up
I'm
because
okay.
I'm like the youngest
And
kid,
then
and
this was
I
one of
would
the
say
schools
like
where I
I should have
wasn't
stayed
supposed to
at
be
home
at
with
because I no longer
mommy.
went
I
there.
should have
So I
never
was basically going to
left.
get a trespassing ticket.
I should have talked to her more and
And one
stuff
of the
like that. And
security
then
guys
like
was
he would
like,
tell me
well,
like
you
it's
can't
not
be
your
on
fault.
property. And he didn't know what was
Everything
going
will be
on. And I
better.
was
We
just like,
all
okay,
miss her.
well,
You're gonna be
whatever.
okay.
And
You
like,
need to come out to New Mexico because that's
my
where he
friend
lived
started
at the
telling me
time.
like her
And my
mom
brother,
just passed away. She just wanted to be around
he played for the New
friends and
Mexico
stuff like
Lobos
that. And
for the
then
football
one
team.
of the sports
And that's where he
admin was
lived, and he
telling
would
me
always
that
tell
like
me like
it's
you
okay,
could
just let her
come.
sit here. And I really appreciate that school because like
He told me
they were
that
very
you could
generous
always
and
come
stuff
and
like
stay
that. They
with
were
me if you
kind
need
and they
to.
let me just hang out
And I
on
told her,
property.
no, I'll be okay. I just need
And
somebody to talk to
I
get
love
things
that.
off my mind and
But
stuff like that. And
after my mom passed away, I
he was
started
really
to,
good at calming me
get
down
better.
and stuff like
I
that.
suffered from
Because I
depression for a
suffered
few
from
months. They
depression and
put me on
anxiety. I still
medication.
suffer from anxiety, but
The
I'm working
medication wasn't
over
really
like
working for me.
anxiety, but make sure
So
somebody
I
else is.
tried to just
Yeah, and I can see that in her, and I really hope that she has compassion for herself and that she allows herself to feel her feelings, that she allows herself to cry. in front of people. It's okay for people to see you break. You're human, especially a young human. To learn to feel your emotions while you're young will save you from so much depression and so much anxiety as an older person.
Find people to hang out with and keep myself busy and like
no longer have depression. I mean, I
stuff
probably
like that.
do. It hits
Like I
here
had
and there, but
like
I know
a
how to get
boyfriend
myself
or
out of
whatever,
it
and like I would always want to be up
way
under
better
him
than I
because
did in
like I don't like
2016,
thinking about the fact of my
which is
mom.
kind of shocking.
You know, like any other person has coping mechanisms.
So,
I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't pop pills, I don't do drugs.
2017.
I really don't have a coping
I started
mechanism except for
learning,
hanging
like,
out with a whole bunch of people
how
and
to,
stuff
like,
like that around that time.
really cope with the loss of my
So
mom.
I was always
like,
with somebody.
I would just
I
not
was
think
never
about
alone,
it,
but
would
I
just
always hated being alone
cry
around that
here
time
and
because
there
I always wanted to
around
think
myself,
about
so nobody else
my
would be able
mom
to see
and
me
this.
cry.
And
Because I'm always
her
a
cause of
happy
death
person. I'm always so
at the
giddy.
time
I'm
in
also
2016,
so caring for
2017,
other people,
2018
and it's like
was she
feeling
overdosed.
okay,
I
and
mean,
that's what I did the whole
she had a
2017.
stroke or a seizure. I
And
wasn't
I feel
sure
like
which one
sometimes
she
when I
had,
have
but
my
my
mood
mom had
swings,
got
people feel
shot
like
when she was younger,
I'm
and she
angry
also
or
had gotten into
I'm
a car
attacking
accident
them
when
or
after I was
I'm being
born
weird, but
and we lived
I'm
in
not
Vegas.
being
She got
weird.
into a car accident that
I
caused her
just
to
have
have seizures.
really crazy
And
thoughts,
she
and
wasn't
I
allowed to drive no more
overthink a lot, which is
and
part of
stuff
my
like that.
anxiety that I've been trying.
So that was her
try to
cause of
get
death
over.
in 2016 was a stroke and a seizure. And now
2018.
I moved past it, and I always like
was
called my brother
the
Pooh,
second
and
year
I would
after
call
my
him and I would
mom's
talk to him.
death. I was spending a lot of time. I think it was 2018.
I would call and talk to him every time I had
spent a
like
lot
an
of time,
emotional
a
breakdown
whole bunch.
about like
Yes, I think her telling her testimony is the beginning of her healing, because to be able to talk about it in this way and feel your emotions is how you process. And when you're able to process, you're able to find some sort of peace with what happened. Doesn't change anything, doesn't mean you're not sad anymore, but you're able to take a step forward when you're able to process.
there was a lot that I should have did in order to like I wasn't saying in order to keep her here, but it was like I started beating myself up because I'm like the youngest kid, and I would say like I should have stayed at home with mommy. I should have never left. I should have talked to her more and stuff like that. And then like he would tell me like it's not your fault. Everything will get better. We all miss her. You're gonna be okay. If you need to come out to New Mexico, because that's where he lived at the time, and my brother he played for the New Mexico Lobos for the football team, and that's where he lived. And he would always tell me like you could come. He told me that you could always come and stay with me if you need to. And I told him, no, I will be okay. I just needed somebody to talk to get things off my mind and stuff like that. And he was really good at calming me down and stuff like that, because I suffered from depression and anxiety. I still suffer from anxiety, but I'm working over like anxiety, but I no longer have depression. I mean, I probably do. It hits here and there, but I know how to get myself out of it way better than I did in 2016, which is kind of shocking. Where was I? 2017, I started learning like how to like really cope with the loss of my mom. Like I would just not think about it, and I would just cry here and there around myself so nobody else would be able to see me cry, because I'm always a happy person. I'm always so giddy. I'm also so caring for other people, and it's like I don't take my own feelings into consideration when it comes to anything that has to go on with me.
She's trying to suppress all of her emotions, and that's what happens. You can only hold it for so long, and as soon as there's a little crack, it's gonna come spilling out. That's why you need to allow yourself to
2017. And I feel like sometimes when I have my mood swings, people feel like I'm angry or I'm attacking them or I'm being weird, but I'm not being weird. I just have really crazy thoughts, and I overthink a lot, which is part of my anxiety that I try to get over. 2018, this was the second year after my mom's death. I was spending a lot of time, I think it was 2018. I think, yeah, I spent a lot of time around my brother, Pooh Bear, and he played for the New Mexico Lobos in college, and like he had a very bad breakup with his girlfriend one season, and like I know his year 2016 was pretty hard because he had tore his ACL, and then he had lost his mom. And then the next following year, 2017, it was 2017, the next following year, his like girlfriend broke up with him, and he was just like super depressed. And like I can read people. I can tell when people are really, why am I hugging myself? I can tell when people are really like hurt and stuff. So my whole family, we took a trip because it was, I don't know, yeah, it was his first game back, and we all took a trip just to see him play. And like everybody else went home, and I was still in school, and I was behind at this time, and I knew my brother needed somebody because we used to go on car rides. Like after his game, I'd get in the car with him, and we would go, and he'd just talk about me, talk about how sad he was, and like stuff like that. And I would always tell him like, things will get better, you're here and you're doing it without your mom, and you know she's looking at us and stuff like that. Just as much as I was for him, he was to me. It's so weird doing this on camera, it really is, but I feel like I need to do something like this. It probably make me feel a whole bunch. But like we would just take car rides and stuff, and like he would tell me things, and like I started getting subtle hints when I was out there before the whole family left of him like telling me like, yeah, he do slick things like
I don't want to lose nobody. I miss my mom
just say
so
like he
much.
needs somebody around. His house is too big. All he has is his dogs.
You know I'm drunk. So like
his friends aren't talking to him and stuff like that. So I took the initiative and told my dad and my other brothers that I'm gonna stay.
He was like, "You're not."
I'm gonna stay with Pooh Bear.
And I went and I went to sleep.
I'm gonna make sure he's okay, and then I'm gonna come back home after.
January 2nd, I texted.
They were like, "Okay, that's fine. Just see if your teachers will email you your schoolwork and stuff." And I was like, "Okay, that's fine."
And I said, "Yeah, I am," but I just feel like
2018 was great. I started really learning how to
or whatever he said. I'll insert
be okay with a lot of stuff. I had relationship stuff going on, but it wasn't that serious.
He had said,
and I graduated 2018. My brother, Pooh Bear, graduated 2018 as well.
Because I always let him follow
and it
me
was
on
just
his
a really
taxes
exciting
he
year.
always ended up giving me
I felt like I was getting myself together. Everything was going on track. I had got a
this time,
job.
I think I'm 20.
I just graduated high school because I was a year behind, and I was a year behind because after my mom died, I completely stopped going to school, and I was supposed to graduate 2017, and I stopped. And then Pooh Bear motivated me and told me, Pooh Bear and my father, of course my dad, kept telling me I need to get back in school. I need to do it because Pooh Bear had told me he wants to see me walk across the stage, and
I never
so with my mom and stuff like that. Like I talked to him a lot.
But I woke up and
2018, it was great.
And my phone
the end of 2018, I had an emotional breakdown about my mom.
Texting me like,
and I will probably put a screenshot of the conversation I had with my brother. I had an emotional breakdown about my mom on New Year's.
He wouldn't do that.
And it was a very,
So, I see I have a Snapchat.
I don't know where it came from. I was just really drunk.
And
my dad came and got me the next
the top of
January 1st,
his name where
and I sat in the car with my dad, and I said, "Daddy, do you feel like?" I said, "Daddy, I feel like I didn't say. I said, Daddy, I just don't want to lose anybody else. I don't want to lose nobody. I miss my mom so much." And he told me, he was like, "You're not gonna lose anybody." And I was like, "Okay." You know, I'm drunk, so like I'm not thinking anything of it. I'm just super duper drunk. Like, yo,
he slid up and was like, "What's wrong?
I just don't want to lose nobody else." And he was like, "You're not."
So that's 3 hours.
And I went
before his
to sleep,
girlfriend had
and
texted me.
January 2nd, I texted Pooh Bear, and I was like, "Do you ever feel like you're gonna lose anyone?"
He told me he's at this hotel.
And he said, "Where did this come from? Are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah, I am, but I just feel like I'm scared that I'm gonna lose somebody." And he said that it's a part of life, or whatever he said. I'll insert
I started calling hotels, and I'm like, "Do you have a Romeo Jordan
message so you
your
guys could see
hotel?"
what he had said.
And they're like, "No, we don't have anybody under that name."
We were super
and
close.
I called her back, my brother's girlfriend.
He had filed for me on his taxes,
like, I don't know, he won't tell me anything.
Because I always let him file me on his taxes, because
and at this point I start getting scared too.
He always ended up giving me something back, which was a good thing. And
something in
mind you, around this time I think I'm 20.
So we call another hotel. And
yeah, I was 20.
I say, I just wanted to get a wellness check on a
one day
somebody you guys have there, and at this point,
I was already prescribed some type of medicine.
It was a possibility that he was at that hotel
I was having
because
a very bad day, and I decided I wanted to go to sleep. And I took one of my pills, and it makes me go to sleep, so I took the pill. And I never wake up from these kind of pills, but I woke up and went to go get a drink of water. And my phone was on do not disturb, and I went back to my room, and my brother's girlfriend's texting me like, have you talked to Pooh Bear? He's not answering his phone. He said he's gonna do something. And I'm sitting there like, no, he's okay. I know my brother's okay. He wouldn't do that. So I see I have a Snapchat from him. So I open my Snapchat and I see the top of his name where it's supposed to be is not the name. So he deactivated his Snapchat. And it was me at the hospital because I had got hurt at work, and I went to the hospital and I put it on my Snapchat, attention seeking, as usual. I put it on Snapchat, and he slid up and was like, what's wrong, are you okay? And that's 3 hours before his girlfriend had texted me. And like, she calls me and she's like, can you please help me? He's not answering. He told me he's at this hotel. He's not at this hotel, and I don't know what to do. And I'm like, just calm down. It's okay. He's gonna be okay. I know he's okay. My brother's okay. So I started calling hotels, and I'm like, do you have a Romel Jordan in your hotel? And they're like, no, we don't have anybody in there that name. And I called her back, my brother's girlfriend, and I was like, is it in his name? And she was like, I don't know. He won't tell me anything. He's not answering, and she's frantic. And at this point, I start getting scared too, because I'm like, I hope he's okay. Why would he tell her something and he's not telling her the information of where he is? So we call another hotel, and I say, I just wanted to get a wellness check on somebody you guys have there. And at this point, it's because she said it was a possibility that he was at that hotel because his boss had let him stay at that hotel before, because it was like a work trip and he was traveling for work, staying in hotels. And I said, I just wanted to do a wellness check on a person that you guys might have in your room. And the lady was like, we can't do that. You're gonna have to call the police if you need to find out if the person's here. And I'm like, I just need to know if he's there. And the receptionist was like, I can't disclose the information of if that person's here or not. And I was like, okay. So I called the police and I filed a report. And mind you, it's like maybe 12 or 11 at night. And I filed the report, and I'm like, we can't find my brother. He said he's gonna do something to himself. We just can't find my brother, and he said that he's gonna do something to himself. So we were wondering if you guys would be able to go and look for him. And the lady was very cooperative. She was like, yes, can you give us his name, what he looks like?
It really shows that
and we said,
it's
yeah.
not the
And
physical things that bring you joy, that it comes from inside.
Check.
It's not anything outside of you that makes you happy.
My brother's girlfriend,
it's what's inside of you that makes you happy.
I'll call you if I
and
get any
I'm
more
really,
information.
really proud that she was able to see that in this, through all of this trauma that she is experiencing. But she was still able to see that light, to understand that everything you need, you have. It's inside of you. Nothing on the outside of you. It's going to make you happy.
I ended up getting a phone call from a detective in Hobbs, New Mexico. And he called me, and he called me, my voice was ecstatic. I was like, hey, hello.
They have to be happy.
He was like, yeah, we found your brother. And off tops, I should have knew this was a bad idea. And it was a bad phone call, because why did the detective call me and not my brother? But I wasn't thinking.
Yeah, everybody walks around with a mask on, masking their
calls,
emotions, masking really how they really feel,
I just wanted to
and
let
what's
you know
really
we found
going
your
on
brother. And I was like,
inside.
oh, okay, good. Where is he at? And the detective was like,
how it goes. So if you want to cry, cry. If you want to be sad, be sad. If you want to be mad, be mad. Because it's not nobody's life but yours. But you need to understand that you can make differences, and you're strong. Everybody's strong, and I've suffered from depression. I've wanted to do things to myself, and I never did, because I had my brother here to tell me not to. But now that I know he's not here, I have to be 12 times stronger, because him and my mom are a prime example of how something can be this stable and just fall apart and break, and everything can just be ruined. It's so unstable. And that's why I'm gonna be way stronger than I was with my mom's death, because my brother's always taught me to be strong. And he's always told me to just be okay with what I'm doing and be the best person I can be, regardless of what people think. And I just wanted to let everybody know that you're loved. Everybody's loved. If you're not being loved by the right person, you're loved by somebody else.
Sorry to inform you over the phone, and I wish I could do
But
this
I
in
hope you
person.
guys enjoyed
It sucks
this
that I can't do
video.
this over the phone. But we
This will
found your
probably
brother,
be
and he's
one of the
deceased.
only sad videos that will be posted on my
And I got up.
YouTube, and I just wanted to just let everybody know what happened and how I lost my mom and how I lost my brother and how I move upon that and how I'm moving now towards being a very more successful person. Because suicide is a very serious topic, and I feel like people just ignore it. And people bypass it because they think it's
And
a
I
joke.
went to my dad's room and I told
And
my dad, and I said,
it's not.
Pooh Bear's gone.
And I feel like everybody
And my
should
dad was like,
take
what do you
time
mean
to
Pooh Bear's gone? I was like, he killed himself.
really,
And my stepmom had work the next day, and they both just jumped up and were like, what do you mean he killed himself?
lucky your mom's
And I was like, the detective, Kayla, said that he wasn't answering his phone calls, and we went searching, and the detective just called me. Here's the detective. I handed him the phone,
still have.
and we were like,
Thanks guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys next time.
I handed him the phone, and he was talking to the detective, and the detective was like, I'm sorry to inform you guys, but
Wow. What a powerful message. And she's absolutely right. In the end, be grateful. Be grateful. Be grateful for who you have in your life now. Be grateful for what you have in your life now. And feel your emotions. Just like she said, if you want to cry, cry. If you're angry, be angry. Just
I've ever got.
be honest
my
with
mom's-
yourself and be honest with the people around you. And just like she said, make sure you tell everyone you love how much you love them and how important they are and what they mean to you in life. And that losing them would be painful for you every chance you get. Until next time, this
phone call
is
was
Death
really
Stories
bad.
Living True.
It was a bad phone call, but this phone call kind of hit a little bit different because this brother of mine was the one that I looked up to since I was like 3-4 years old. I wanted to play football because he played football. I wanted to be a psychologist because he was studying psychology. I wanted to do a lot of things. He had a Mercedes. I wanted a Mercedes. Everything he did, I wanted to do. And it's because him and my brother Raven were always around me. When something would happen with my mom, it was the three of us and my mom. Every time we got in trouble, it was with each other. And when I got that phone call, it broke me into pieces. And my brother Pooh Bear, he had got adopted by these people named the Swiharts, which is Blake Swihart's parents, and they paid for his whole funeral, which we appreciate that, definitely. But everybody planned his funeral like the day of him dying, and the funeral was 3 days later. So nobody really had time to grieve. And when my mom passed away, I refused to see her body. They had a viewing, and I told my dad I did not want to go. And I didn't go. When we went to New Mexico for my brother's funeral, it was a big funeral. It was a really big funeral because I guess everybody in New Mexico loved Romel Jordan. He was a good person. My brother was a good person. So was my mom, but my brother was a good person. And this is the most recent death to me, which is my brother. And at the funeral,
I tried to be as happy as I could. Not happy, but you know, normal. I don't want to cry in front of people. I don't want to make it seem like I'm attention seeking. I don't want to do this. I'm not going to cry in front of everybody. Somebody asked me to go see his body with them, and I told them no. And I know me, and if I were to see the body, I would definitely just not be able to cope with that easy than what I do now. So I refused. And I went to go take a little walk by like the auditorium so I could just sit down and think, because there was a lot of people, just a lot of people, and I don't know who half of them were, to be honest, but that doesn't matter. I went and I took a walk, and I sat there and I accidentally walked past this open door, and I saw his body. I saw my brother's head in a coffin, and I started breaking down. And my brother Raven came, and my dad came, and my other brother came, and I was just crying a lot because it was a lot to take in 3 days that my brother was gone, and my brother's not gonna be here no more. And this is his month, February. It's going to be his whole first year of him being completely gone, and it's been a very hard year knowing I can't talk to my brother. I can't talk to my mom. And I feel like now that I'm growing older and older, I've realized how much I've actually needed my mom. And there's people out here that could play the mom role, but it's not my mom. I've seen people in nail salons, and the girls paying for their mom's nails and stuff, and like I'm never gonna get that chance to really take my mom to go get her nails done, and I'm never gonna get the chance to walk down the aisle with my mom. I'm never gonna get the chance to walk down the aisle with my brother or see my brother at my wedding. My mom never got to wear her wedding dress, and I have her wedding dress, so I want to get married one day just to wear her wedding dress for her. I have an amazing stepdad and amazing stepmom as well, and they were both very supportive and like very emotionally like intact with me and stuff like that. Since I was 5 years old, I've known them since I was 5, so they were both there and they were very good. My brother's death was it hit me a little different, and it made me really realize that I don't need anybody around me. I don't need friends. I don't need nobody to be here for me. I don't need nobody but myself, because a lot of people will show you fake love, and I realized that from going to my brother's funeral, from the stories and the conversations we've had about the people that were at his funeral, the people that the faults and stuff that he said, and there was just a lot of people there that I never even seen or anything like that. But months later, me and a boyfriend went to California, and I found out that my mom had also committed suicide, and my brother Pooh Bear knew she had committed suicide the whole entire time. And I'm not gonna say that's the reason why he did what he did, but I feel like depression's very bad. especially when you isolate yourself and you don't learn how to.
I mean, that's a hard lesson, but it's a good lesson that, yeah, in reality, the only person you actually need is yourself. And nobody else can make you feel better. Nobody else can make you happy. Nobody else can give you what you need to feel whole. The only person who can do that is you. So that is very true. And to realize that everybody around you are also humans, and they're also going through things, and they're also trying to figure it
Control
out.
your mind by yourself, and when you get by yourself, you always think of negative thoughts and stuff like that. And that's why now I'm learning to really be by myself and be happy by myself and not let my mind completely bring me down when I am by myself. Because when I was coping with my mom, I had lots of people around me, and a lot of people weren't showing me the genuine love that a person needed. And I see the same thing happen to my brother, and it drove him to a wall of where he did not want to be here anymore. And I can say I was one of the people that probably made him feel that way. But he knew I loved him a lot because that's my big brother, and I told him that every day. And I always sent my brothers random text messages like, I love you guys, all the time. But I guess that one day I just wasn't there. And like now looking back on my mom's stuff after finding out that she also committed suicide, it's like you never know what anybody's going through unless you sit down and you talk to them and you learn them. You can know them your whole life, but you will never know what's really going on inside their mind because you're not them. So if you're treating them a certain way.
Oh my gosh, I didn't think this story could get any more heartbreaking. But to find out that your mother actually committed suicide, she did not die from a seizure or a stroke, that she actually committed suicide. And then 3 years later, your brother also commits suicide. Oh, this poor child. I really, really hope that she has compassion for herself.
Control. Make sure it's politely and it's genuine, because you never know what somebody's going through, and you never know what they want to do to themselves, and you never know what's going on in their brain, and you never know how you can prevent certain things. And I just know now, since I lost my brother, I know I am stronger than what I was when my mom passed away. Because when my mom passed away, I was very vulnerable. I was weak, but I thought I was strong. And it's been a whole year since my brother has and I'm sweating so much, and I have a Bantu bra on. My brother always taught me, like, he sent me messages and he's told me that I don't need anybody and don't ask nobody for sympathy, don't show nobody no sympathy, and just portray that you're strong. And he told me back to back, just get a job, get busy. And there was one point before he even passed away where he actually begs me to come and live with him, and I didn't really catch the signs because I was oblivious and I wasn't face to face with him. Like, I could read people's energy and how they feel when I'm face to face with them, but I wasn't face to face with him when he was sending me messages like that. So I really wasn't aware, but I've always asked him, like, are you okay? And there's a couple.
And that's a hard lesson to learn, and that's a very hard way to learn it. But she's absolutely right. You have to treat everybody with compassion because you don't know. You have no idea what they're going through. And just like she said, she was only 16 years old. To lose your mother at the age of 16 is super hard. So it doesn't sound to me like she has much compassion for herself. And she understands, baby, you were just a baby. You did what you needed to survive, and it worked. You survived. So forgive yourself.
Like,
I look back at it now like, wow, that was a sign, that was a sign. So it's like, if you love somebody, just pay attention to them and let them know that you love them all the time. And don't take them for granted, and don't overuse them, and don't make them feel like you don't love them. Just love them, because you never know when they're gonna be gone, because your life is in your hands as well as it is in other people's. So if a person really doesn't want to be here and they really say they don't want to be here, take that in consideration. But my brother never said that he didn't want to be here, and neither did my mom. So it's like you're stuck. You really can't really know if somebody wants to be here. I feel like some people take crying as a weakness, and it's not a weakness. You can cry and be the strongest person in the world. My brother was very strong. You would never think he'd be the type of person to do what he did. He played, he was one of the only, I think my brother Rob graduated from college too, but Hoover graduated from college. He went to the World Series for baseball. He has a few celebrity friends, not even celebrity, but like people who are wealthy. He had a lot of connects to getting into what he wanted. He had nice cars, he had a good job, and he had a lot of girls and a girlfriend. And
it's not your fault. It sounds like she's blaming herself for not noticing that he was crying out for help. But the thing is, if somebody doesn't say, hey, I need your help, it's hard to know where they're at. You cannot blame yourself for that. So again, please have compassion for yourself. You did what you could for your brother. You loved your brother as much as you were capable of.
When he says you have everything in the world, why are you not happy? You can't say just because somebody has something that's materialistic or somebody that's there, they have to be happy all the time. And I feel like that's what's wrong with society. I feel like everybody just wants everybody to just be happy and to do everything that's with each other. And it's not how it goes. So if you want to cry, cry. If you want to be sad, be sad. If you want to be mad, be mad. Because it's not nobody's life but yours. But you need to understand that you can make differences, and you're strong. Everybody's strong, and I've suffered from depression. I've wanted to do things to myself, and I never did because I had my brother here to tell me not to. But now that I know he's not here, I have to be 12 times stronger, because him and my mom are a prime example of how something can be this stable and just fall apart and break, and everything can just be ruined. It's so unstable. And that's why I'm going to be way stronger than I was with my mom's death, because my brother's always taught me to be strong. He's always told me to just be okay with what I'm doing and be the best person I can be, regardless of what people think. And I just wanted to let everybody know that you're loved. Everybody's loved. If you're not being loved by the right person, you're loved by somebody else. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This will probably be one of the only sad videos that will be posted on my YouTube. And I just wanted to just let everybody know what happened, and how I lost my mom, and how I lost my brother, and how I move upon that, and how I'm moving now towards being a very more successful person. Because suicide is a very serious topic, and I feel like people just ignore it, and people bypass it because they think it's a joke, and it's not. And I feel like everybody should pay attention to signs, and everybody should really just love their family members. And if your mom's here, be lucky your mom's here, because there's a lot of people that don't have their moms here with them no more.
There's a lot of people who don't have dads out here no more. There's a lot of people. Just be grateful for who you still have in your life. Thanks guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys next time. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And just remember, you're loved.
Now and until
It really shows that it's not the physical things that bring you joy, that it comes from inside. It's not anything outside of you that makes you happy. It's what's inside of you that makes you happy. And I'm really, really proud that she was able to see that in this, through all of this trauma that she is experiencing. But she was still able to see that light, to understand that everything you need, you have. It's inside of you.
Death stories are mirrors. They show us our fears, our regrets, our love, our humanity. And if we are willing to listen closely enough, they teach us how to live differently. Thank you for joining me tonight, Soul Travelers. This is Janae of Living Truth, and this has been Death Stories, Living Truth.